Hi, this is Richard Chamberlain, and welcome back to the Protecting Your Family's Future podcast. This is episode number 33, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about a conversation I just had with one of my clients. We were sitting in the conference room, and he told me that he had been talking to a friend of his, and the friend asked him a question, and I thought it was a common enough question that I wanted to make this into a podcast episode because I hear it from a lot of people, and I know if I hear it from a lot of people, that a lot of people have this question in mind. And so I wanted to get the answer out there. The question is, if I don't have millions of dollars, do I really need a living trust? And the answer is maybe, maybe not. It depends on what it is you're looking to accomplish in your estate plan. Now, I think that the question comes from the belief, the mistaken belief, that a living trust is really only good to reduce estate taxes. And estate taxes really only apply if you have more than $12 million. That's kind of the number that's out there right now for the estate tax exemption amount. And so if you have more than $12 million, a trust is good for you. And if you don't, well, you don't need a living trust. Sometimes people will hear that from their financial advisor. Sometimes people will hear it from a friend or a neighbor. And honestly, it's just not true. So let's talk about the non-tax reasons to do a living trust. Number one, planning for incapacity. If you don't have a living trust, then you're relying on a power of attorney for the people that you want to be able to handle things for you if you become incapacitated. And a bank or a financial institution, they may not honor a power of attorney. They often will say, well, we don't want to honor that because it was signed too long ago and it might have been revoked and we don't know, and so we can't rely on that. If instead you have a trust, then the successor trustee in your trust has the legal authority under the document to manage the assets in the trust. And if they are the trustee, they can manage the assets, and no institution can say, no, we're not going to honor this, because as the trustee, they are the owner of the account. They're not using a power of attorney. Another reason to use a living trust that isn't related to whether you have millions of dollars or not is having your estate avoid probate. Now, if you use a will as the basis of your estate plan, your estate will go through probate. And a lot of people will want to avoid probate. If you haven't already listened to our episode number 4, why avoid probate, I recommend you go back and listen to that one because it goes into more detail about what we call the pitfalls of probate and why you want to avoid it. But suffice it to say that probate is an expensive process, much more expensive than alternatives. It's a public process, and all the information is out there for the world to see if anybody wants to see. And it takes a long time. It's very complicated. And you're limited in how you can protect your beneficiaries. So having a living trust means your estate can avoid probate. The third main reason why people use trusts that aren't tied to whether you have millions of dollars or not is protecting your beneficiaries. Now, go back and listen to episode 10 if you haven't already listened to that one. That talks about how to protect beneficiaries in your estate plan. But for example, if you have a young beneficiary, if your beneficiaries are incapacitated, if they have creditor issues or they're spenders, they have special needs, you need to protect them from receiving an inheritance outright. You might want to protect them from what we call inheritance theft. And you can do all of these things with a trust that you can't do with other types of estate plans. So those are just 3 reasons right off the top about why a living trust is important, even if you don't have millions of dollars. So if you'd like to have more information about your particular situation and what the best type of an estate plan is going to be for you, you should sit down and talk to an experienced estate planning attorney about your particular needs, the options that are available to you, and what's going to work best for you. If you'd like to talk to us about your estate planning, you can reach out to us. The contact information is in the show notes, and we'd be glad to talk to you. I hope this has been helpful for you, and we'll see you next week.